For those just starting out, to those who built their reputation. In the detail industry, navigating the course is a daily grind. This is Play-by-Play with industry professionals tackling topics and offering tips to help improve your game plan. Now, here's your Play-by-Play.
All right, what's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Play-by-Play, and I got my boy Tom, Mr. Tom Smith, the owner of Buff Bright. And I tell you, man, we've had some time to talk here in between Mr. Jason Rose and Sarah coming on. And look, I'm blown away. I had no idea your experience that you have in this industry. And you know, I'd love to share a little bit of that story if you have time. The things that you were telling me, you know, how long have you been detailing?
Well, Dustin, I started when I was 14 years old at my cousin's Chevy dealership. And back then, there was no YouTube video.
No, not at all.
No. So
I don't think there was a YouTube.
No, there was no YouTube. Yeah. In fact, all we had was rotary polishers. We didn't even have variable speed.
Wow.
Single speed. The
wide open or nothing, huh?
Wide open, yep. 3,000 RPM and no foam pads. First car I got given, the detailer that was there had quit. I'd worked with him for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And this older guy who was in his 60s had quit. And the guy, the used car manager, came out to me and said, "Here's this black Corvette. If you burn it or swirl it, you're fired. I don't care if your cousin is the owner." And
right.
And I'm like, oh boy. So
no pressure.
No pressure at all. But it probably wasn't my best detail ever, but I'm a common sense guy, and I just approached it from that. And that's how I've been my whole life. So I picked up everything I can from people that I could learn from.
Sure. And
just kind of self-taught. And it's been a fun ride for the last 42 years.
You know, it's funny that you say self-taught because I'm that same way. And, you know, I value trainings and learning because I speak at a lot of them. I teach a lot of them. I know you do as well, a lot more than I do. That stuff wasn't available over 10 years when I started. You had a few forums that you could go to and refer to, and a couple maybe mentions in some magazines, but nothing specific. But so we learned trial by fire. Like you learned how to detail by messing up and learning from that. And, you know, there's value that. However, to the new guys that are out there, there are other options, and you'll end up with a lot less gray hair and a little bit more money in your checking account because you're not fixing all the things that you're fixing to mess up.
Absolutely true. I mean, if you can change that curve a little bit, that bell curve of, I mean, we all need to learn. I remember I one time about 3-4 years in the business, I told a guy, I was real cocky maybe, and I told him, I've never burned a car. And he goes, "Oh, no. Well, you've really never polished a car then."
Sure.
Because if you're really getting correction, sommes you got to get in
push
there.
The limit.
Yeah, you got to. We didn't have paint thickness gauges. We didn't have base coat, clear coats. We didn't have any of that. It was lacquer paint.
Yep.
And you had no warning. You just all of a sudden hit the primer.
Gone. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's you learned. I kind of said it before. You kind of have a third eye, and I've talked to Levi Gates from the rag company about it before. It's you almost in your mind can see underneath the pad.
Absolutely. No, you can. And I think it's a combination. So, you know, like an algorithm where they have the learning cars, like the cars where they drive. So you're taking a little bit of what you see before and a little bit of what you see after, and your brain's merging those two and saying, this is what's actually happening underneath there. And you have to be in tune with that. That's not
absolutely,
you know, and I think, you know, you mentioned paint gauges, and we have them in our shop. We use them religiously, but it's kind of like Google Maps. You know, if you use Google Maps all the time, I'm guilty. You forget where you're going.
Yeah.
If you're using paint gauges, sometimes you lose that touch. Sometimes you lose that vision, and you're so reliant on the new technology to kind of guide your way. And I love it, by the way. We use it in our shop.
Yeah.
But I do remember the times where we didn't have that. I absolutely did not have those.
You ever wonder how your parents got anywhere?
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
they go to Dallas or something, and then how did they get around without Google?
How did you do this? You know, you stop at the gas station. Yes. Or you plan it out on a map. I mean, I remember stopping at rest areas and literally getting a map.
Oh yeah.
You know? Yep. And then fast forward where you could go print a MapQuest. You know, and you have 9 pages to flip through of turns. So it's funny, but we evolve, right? But there's benefits to it, and then there's the offset. You know, but. Let's talk a little bit about Buff Bright, the company that you own. Now, you guys have been in business for a while, and you've got some really innovative, cool products to show. And you brought a few of them out here. Let's talk about what we can see here. if you don't mind.
You bet. So the first product we came up with, I've restored a lot of muscle cars over the years, and I'm a fabricator. I love to do things like that. It's my therapy.
Yes, sir.
Along with detail. And I was out in the shop once, and I lost the ballast and the light over me on a black 69 Camaro I was working on. Had one panel to go, and I was too lazy to change the ballast.
Sure.
So I started to think, well, what if I did this? And so me and a roll of duct tape ended up with my first prototype.
Yeah.
So I made it work, and I loved it. And so it just got under my skin, and I started working and prototyping. And coming up about 30 prototypes later, we came up with what we have now. And this is the third iteration of it. And so we've got an 800 lumen light that can quick disconnect from the polisher. There's a hub that stays. And
you would remove this first in case you're in a tight area, you need to. And the reason I say tight area, because on boats, we get under the gunnel. But you can also remove it for other reasons, right?
Yeah, to charge it, whatever. You can also put it back here. You can move this light, articulate it anywhere. It's completely unlimited on what you want to do. You can move it to the front. You can move it to this way.
No kidding.
And put it on up there and put this out as a headlamp if you want to use a single headlamp.
Wow.
So it's just, and we took it from there. It's amazing for polishing once you've polished with one. It's like you and I were saying, how many times have you finished a car, pull it outside?
Oh, yeah. And you still got a lot of polishing to do.
Yeah, you think you're done, but you're not, because even the best guy with a buffer or a polisher I don't care how good he is. If he can't see it, he can't fix it.
That's right.
So you'll never miss a thing when you're putting 800 lumens of light right with you.
You know what would make this even cooler? If you could pop it off and put it in a headlamp.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be great. You should do that. That way.
Pops off.
Yeah.
And we have a new headband with our third iteration here. This comes off, and you can see the grooves in that light. It snaps into the headband. So you've got a headband that is going to be better than any. It's longer lasting. It's 180 degrees wide. 12 hours of
charge time.
That's on the highest setting.
That's incredible, man. And all joking aside, we had went over this thing before, and I thought that like, to me, because in our shop we have a lot of detailers, we have a lot of tools, and another headband's another thing to charge. We have stuff on charge everywhere. That's another thing to lose, to make sure here it's all inclusive. And while they're on the fly, they pop it off, boom, put it in the headlamp, and go. Now, I think that I had the original prototype for this. I believe I had a headlamp cut and then duct taped, and we used the lights on them. But you've taken it a lot further.
Well, we also took it to the patent office.
Yeah, so. There you go. Okay. Yeah, you beat me to it for sure. No, I'm just playing. I'm sure there's probably a lot of detailers that wanted lights here at the end and stuff. But you did. I mean, and this is amazing. So, you tell us a little bit about it.
Absolutely. I'm into solving problems.
Yes.
So I realize I've got all my cars have black carpet.
Yes, sir.
And I'll vacuum them in the garage, and I'll pull outside, and I'll go, oh, you're kidding me.
Right.
So now you can pop that light off here. You can pop it onto this hub. Mm-hmm. You can use it without it, but you pop it onto there and then hit the button. Now you've got 800 lumens of light lighting everything under the seat, up in the corners. You never miss anything.
I tell you, man, it's impressive. And to see this stuff coming out, and I'm not technically detailing anymore in my shop. I have a shop manager that runs it, and I'm kind of on a broader stroke running the businesses. Yep. This makes me mad that I didn't have this stuff. I'm serious, I look at it, and it makes me excited for my detailers to know that we're gonna be doing some business in the very near future. And I feel bad. I've known you for a while. We've been in some Zoom meetings for the IDA on some committees that we both share seats on, but I don't think I understood. I knew you for one tool. I knew you for one tool specifically, and that was the For Real. Yep. And that's the pet hair removal, the rubber end that goes on the vacuum. And we used the stew out of those things. Yep. And we would wear them out. And listen, the guys are so partial to them, literally. So they're responsible for their tools, right? Yep. And they would wear them down to just the rubber, and they would not throw them away because they didn't know maybe the girl who orders didn't order them on time. They wanted to keep that until the new one came in, And but you've taken that a step further as well, hadn't you?
We have, and
I was going to see if I could find it. That other For Real tool for my dad.
You bet.
Let's see.
So what we changed on it, we're not a company that rests on its laurels. We listen to our customers.
Sure.
And we want to always make things better. we knew that the last one. Now these molds are expensive to create.
Oh, I'm sure.
We're talking $60,000 to $80,000 to make these molds.
Wow.
And it's, but we knew we wanted to make it better, and we want to learn, and that's what makes a good company. So the new one, the Furreel Pro 2.0, still fits on the same adapter.
Oh,
But it lasts 10 times longer. We've increased the durometer of the thickness. Each tooth is thicker, the bumpers are thicker, and it's 300% longer in how long.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and we've even driven the venting up into the lip, so you actually can never run it completely out.
Right. So because it still gets the positive airflow. Is that what you're saying?
Positive airflow.
And that's what generates the sucking power, right?
Exactly.
That's what helps.
When you take a vacuum and you put it right down, you'll hear the vacuum start to whine.
Yeah.
You've lost all suction at that point. You've lost all airflow.
Okay.
That's why the vacuum is raising in RPM. By having this on there, you're leaving that venting, you're turbocharging that vacuum, you get more lift,
more air, which creates the air's pulling the stuff through there.
It's a Venturi effect, kind of like you use with carburetors or fuel injection.
Yeah.
You get more by having that venting. If you cut it off, you're stopping.
It's funny. So in our crevice tools, we used to take a little grinder or some snips and cut vents.
Serrate them.
Yes. And cut vents into the plastic. I mean, we did, like I said, you took things a lot further. We were just solving problems on the fly,
You know what? That's redneck engineering, and I've done lots of that.
It works great too.
But this gives you the ability, rather than just serrating it and getting airflow.
This is
polymeric silicone. So that product, as you use it, it heats up and gets hot and gets grabby like an eraser on a pencil, and it grabs that hair and pulls it straight and just sucks it away.
Man, I tell you, and they work great.
Oh,
they work. Our shop hasn't. I don't believe we've ordered the new ones yet. I mean, we absolutely use them every day.
Fix that.
We're going to fix that. I can tell you right now, you're going to love our first order. You picked the right time.
All right.
But one thing else, another one I talk about, and Chris, I don't know if they can see it here, but our logo.
Turn that off so people can.
Yeah, our logo is right here on the back, and this is something special. So this is a skin that you guys make for polishers.
Yeah, we released these at SEMA this year, and we can make these custom for anybody. So you can order one or two.
Yeah.
If you're a distributor and you want to order 25, you can order them wholesale, and we can put your logo,
custom
with any. And I'm telling you, I had a guy call me the other day, and he goes, my nickname is Booger.
Yeah.
And I said, don't even tell me. And he goes, I'm going to send you a picture of what I want. He sends you this slimy looking thing, and it's green fluorescent boogers.
Oh my gosh.
And he goes, I want.
That's what he wants on his.
That's what he wants. So it's gonna be epic.
Boogers, here we go. That's awesome. Well, a conversation me and you had about branding, and let's talk about that. I talk about this a lot on our podcast. And I'm good friends with the ceramic coating guys in the industry. Joel LaPalm's one of my best friends, guys over System X. I mean, everybody, Fireball, Onyx, all these guys are my buddies, right? But I don't advertise their product. I advertise my service. I market my service. If someone asks me what kind of coating I'm putting on their vehicle, I'll tell them, and I'll give them the brochure from the coating company, because they're into that and they want to understand that. So here's more information.
Yep.
But outside of that, I'm selling my service. It's easy in ceramic coating, right here. If I'm putting Easy In on this polisher right now, I'm now marketing my brand and not our beloved Rupes, because Rupes is good friends that I am with Mr. Rose and them. They haven't sent me any checks lately, for as much as I'm marketing for them. And
and I'm sure we want to enhance what Rupes is doing.
Sure.
And Flex and everybody else. We want to enhance what they're doing. That's why we made this one for the show, for everyone that's here supporting MTE.
Yeah.
We want to help them out. And, we didn't charge anything for it. We just want to build that.
No, I thought that was awesome.
That awareness,
Well,
and this is available. If you're going to be out there and you have a detail business, you need to probably be thinking about your brand.
Absolutely.
And if you're flying this polisher in front of a camera and you're posting, why would you not fly your own flag?
Why not have your own logo? Why not have your brand on there? This is something I talked about in my 9 o'clock class on Thursday, was branding. And you look around and you see Under Armour, you see Nike or whatever shirts, and I just happen to have a pullover over. But, we're always repping our brands, just like you, top to bottom, right?
Yep.
Because, like I said, Nike hadn't sent me a check, but Detail Bookie can, or Easy In can.
Yep.
And I want people to understand, like, this is my brand. This is my business, and I'm proud of it. This is what puts food on my table every night. you know? And so you don't want to, and you mentioned it. I mean, you still got the Bigfoot logo up top. Everybody knows it's Blackheads of Rupes.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not doing anything but enhancing this. And now you're giving the detailer an opportunity to expand their branding onto their tools.
Not only that, but if it's a new tool, you're now protecting it.
Yeah.
They get beat the heck. So, or if you have an old tool that's looking really sad, clean it up with isopropyl alcohol, put this on. It looks like a brand new tool.
I feel like you've been to my shop and you're judging my tools because our polishers, he's laughing. Chris is laughing right off camera here because our tools get drug lit. First thing that happens to a brand new tool, it gets flipped over and they drag it with the cord just to get it warmed up. Like that's its serenading.
Well, I want you to know that guilt is self-inflicted. So you did that to yourself.
I know, and I'm joking. I give my guys a hard time. I'm sure a lot of them are watching, but they are a little rough on them. I talk to them about it all the time. And and one thing I shouted out Rupes a while ago, but their repair program where we could send it off and some of the stuff's under warranty. Sometimes it's $100, I think. Usually they'll recondition it. Yeah. It's wonderful. But put this baby on here. It's PPF, you said, right? Protecting the machine.
15 mil PPF, and then it's reverse printed, so everything is underneath it.
So this isn't going to rub off.
Yeah. You couldn't wear it off.
Wow.
We had it in testing for 2 years in high volume shops.
Yeah.
They're not peeling. They're not coming off. Beautiful. They stay beautiful.
Yeah.
And feel that. It enhances the feel.
It does. It
It's
does.
got better grippiness. It's just really awesome. And
you did a thing here for MTE, and this is what sparked this conversation, by the way. You came over here and you handed me a skin and you said, Dustin, this is on me. Here's your logo. You didn't ask us for this. You just made it happen.
Yep.
And it says a lot about your business mind. And I think detailers can gain something from that. So this isn't, this was surprise to me and it sparked a conversation and now it created business. Yep. 100% what happened. Detailers, as you're doing things and you have an opportunity to show when something, and then I always use like a ceramic coating, like a windshield, right? You got a customer that inquired on coating and maybe they didn't buy it on it this time. They wanted just the polymer. Okay. And we do that. Spend, however much it costs you to lay the coating on a windshield, 15 or 20 bucks, maybe. Coat the windshield. Tell the customer, hey, I coated your windshield. I want you to see how it works. I wanted to give you this thing and then call me. Let me know. Bet within 3 months you're not coating that whole vehicle.
Oh, I guarantee.
Or do the wheels. Do the wheels. Wheels are a little bit more expensive. It's going to cost you something, but go ahead and do something.
So when I owned my shop years ago, we did kind of say there was no ceramic coating.
Sure.
But I loved it when the customer came in. Will it really help my car? Will it really?
Yeah.
And I'd say, let's just do a spot on the hood right here.
Yeah.
Just do a 12 inch by 12 inch. They're going to see that spot every day.
Yeah, I know.
I guarantee you they're coming back.
So we cut our teeth in the marine industry, right? And the chalked up boats would come in, and I always planned my test spot right where they would see it by the fuel, and I would tape it, and I'd run a test spot, and I say, this is what she can look like, I got to take it to the service department, and I'm going to put it in storage.
Yep.
I said, okay, well, it was 2 weeks later, man, I've been staring at that spot. I took it home, showed my wife, go ahead and book it for me, and that's what you do, right?
Yep.
So I just, I know the guys can take something away from that. And this happens, organically. You did this thing. You did it with an idea in mind, and I can tell you it 100% worked out. Look, man, I hate that we haven't had conversations like this before, but I can tell you. We got
a lot of future to go.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time.
You bet.
And coming over here and introducing and making this possible is everything, man. It really is.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity. It's great to talk to the people that follow you.
Yeah.
And I love the detail community. I get involved in every way I can. Most of what I'm building is because I want to solve problems for that industry that's been so good to me. And I'm on the board of directors with the IDA. I love to get involved and volunteer and help.
Right.
And if anyone ever wants to reach out and has a question, I'll answer anything they got. I'm here for you.
Yeah, and then that's the way we are. When we talk about the software, which we don't pitch the software a whole lot on the show. I mean, obviously our background's detail booking, but that's about it. I mean, because we want you to watch this show and get something from it. I could sit here and turn it into an infomercial if that's what I wanted to do, but I don't think you guys would get much out of it, and not for long anyway. The software was built out of a need.
Yeah.
And it wasn't built to sell. It was built to run a business.
Yep.
And I needed that. And that's what we did. And then I ran it for like a year and 4 months. And I watched what it did for my business. And I said, man, I would be doing the industry a disservice if I did not at least attempt to show other people this and get it in their hands.
That would have been selfish.
It would have been very selfish. And listen, and rightfully so, like it could have been, and it would save me a lot of money and a lot of time, because when you're developing how much this costs.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's no different than software. Like you have the development cost it's an investment.
Yeah.
And that bill comes regular. And so you build this on a dream, and you know that it solves problems, but you still got to get it in the hands of others, and you still got to hope they love your baby as much as you do. And so you've done a heck of a job. We like to think we've done a decent job too.
You have.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Again, thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day and an awesome show and talking to me.
Good luck and God bless.
Thank you, sir.
All right.